Okay, let's start to play with Shaded for the first time. Just before to start, you need to be careful about something. It's that you have the right Arnold version. For that, go to Arnold, About, and be sure you have the right, at least the 3.2 version of MTOI. Okay, this one. Otherwise, Shaded will not work correctly. Okay, the first thing you need is something to shade, of course. What I really advise you is to start not on your own stuff, but with the Shaded look dev scene. For that, open Shaded, go to utility, and here I provide you two scenes. Okay, the first one is a scene with a shader ball, the one I use to develop the shader. Okay, so this way you will have the perfect look I developed the shader for, and you will have a mesh, the right scale, everything will be perfect for you to start shading. And after we will we'll see the studio also, which is most a classical studio lighting. So just one click here, wait a second, you have a red message error, but don't care about that, it's nothing. Boom, you have your lighting scene. Okay, import here, perfect. It's an import scene, which means it's import on the scene you have. It's not an open scene. So you need to go to render setting and set the setting each time a bit as you want. For example, here I like to work on this one in a square format. I will use 1K, will be enough at first. What I advise you is to keep it by default is great. Just one little tips about Arnold. Even when you do IPR and you want to work while sorry you're rendering, you can have some freeze in Maya, etc. because Arnold is using all your CPU power. For that, I advise you to uncheck auto detect thread and look at the how many threads you have in your computer, and just leave two thread free. Okay, for example, me on my PC I have 20, so I give only this to Arnold, and this way your Maya will be smoother. Okay, just these two tricks. Then when you work with Shaded, of course, you only need one thing, it's the render view. You don't need to go to the hypershade. It's the goal of Shaded. You don't pass by hypershade. You don't have any shading things to do. Everything is do for you. You just need your render view. So I advise you to boom. Be careful about the lock here. To put here. Okay, so viewport, Shaded, and render view. Just render. Boom. I will just up a bit my resolution, something like, yes, perfect. How it's working? Really simple. You select your mesh here. I will, with up arrow key, select everything, or directly select the shader ball here. You choose the shader you want to apply. For example, here, let's apply the black metal. And to apply a shader, it's a double click. Okay, so double click, boom, it's applied. As it's complex shader, you will not have any feedback on the viewport. Okay, but it's not the idea. You see, if I click here on texture, nothing appear in the viewport because it's too complex shader. But you don't care because it's done for rendering. You hit render and you have your shadow. Okay. Now, if I want to edit my shader, it's really simple. You select a mesh with the shader and you click to edit shader. Be really careful one more time. You don't need, and it's not advised, to select each time all the mesh, okay? Because that will, if you select too many mesh, that will make shade it a bit slow and laggy, okay? So only select one mesh, it's better. One mesh with a assigned shader, and click to edit shader. That will open a pop-up edit windows with all the settings you have access to edit this shader. What's the idea about the editing shader in Shadit? The idea is, in fact, every shader, which is metal, plastic, glass, what you want, you in fact, globally, you have one thing. It's a shader, a material is clean, or it's dirt, old, damage, okay? And you choose when you work in substance, marry, you texture. In fact, what you do is you say, oh, I want a really clean plastic, really shiny, without any damage or thing like that. Or I want a metal with rust, with dirt, old metal with damage, etc. Okay. In fact, we only choose between these two things, a material which is clean or damage. And it's the idea of Shadit. Each time you create a shader, it's the cleanest as possible, okay? You see here my metal only clean with subtle variation on the diffuse, on the surface, nothing more, okay? No scratch, nothing, no damage. And you will add different layer of damage, okay? It's not an obligation, of course. If you need a clean black metal shader, you apply and it's done in one click. Okay, so it's the idea for each shader. Now, how it works. At the first beginning, you will always have the global scale slider. Global scale is, as its name is, a scale for adapt all the tiling of all the texture to your object. Okay. Sometimes, as each object, if you have its own scaling, it's important that the shader adapts to your object. If you shade a car or if you shade a little sphere, it's not the same scale. Okay. So with this, you have a little control. For now, you don't touch about that on this scene because, as I already said, everything is set perfectly for this scene and it will work great like that, okay? So don't care about this one. The second one, displacement, is to control the surfacing. So I will render. No need to render everything, just render if you want to be quick on an interesting part with reflection. Be careful, it's really sensitive. The first thing is noise, so just test and you will see that will add noise effect on the surface of your model. It's a true geometry noise, okay? Because it's not a bump, it's a true displacement, which means that will affect really your geometry. So be careful because you see even the border, the edge will be distorted. So it depends on your model, but that can pose some problem sometime. Okay, so okay, why not a bit of displace? I will go back to 0 for this one. And the other one is damage, which is more fine scale. It's more, as its name is, damage. You see also in Shadit, I try to not working on technical aspects, but more on theoretical aspect, okay? It's damage, it's not a bump or thing like that, it's damage on a surface, okay? So this surface is more or less damage, depend on the slider value. So be also quite subtle with this guy, because as you can see, it's really heavy. So yes, a nice little value with just, you see, subtle surface combined with a bit of noise, and already you have something more complex and interesting. Yes, it's time to speak about this now. You have the name, the slider, etc., and a little dot here. This is to reset the default value of a slider. For example, here, if I hit it, that will reset it by default. It's 0. Okay, you see each value have a default value, and for example, here I set the roughness for the shader to 0.5 because it's great. So if you play and say, oh, come back to default value, hit this button. Okay, so you know everything. Now you just need to play with. Here, for example, diffuse. You have a color here, but I advise you on the black metal, as his name is dedicated for only a black metal. So if you want a color metal, prefer the color metal shader. Okay. So yes, there is a color slider, but it's not really useful, in fact, on this guy. Anyway. Okay, so I'll come back to by default. The roughness is just the roughness as you expected. But in fact, understand, here I did this to give you access to only the simple way as possible as parameter. But in fact, it's not just a roughness, it's more than that. That affects a lot of attributes on different map to affect the roughness correctly of the shader. It's not just the roughness slider, the same you can find on high standard surface. What I mean is, for example, if we take a look of what happened, what is this black metal shader in fact, I will show you here opening the Hypershade. Okay, this shader is in fact something like that. You see, it's really complex. And the problem with a shader like that, it's powerful, it's complex, but if you're not the guys, and even if you are the guy that built that, it's really complicated to remember and to know, where is the slider, the value I should change here to affect the roughness. Even mine, I don't remember. I think I should go to the base here, but you see the roughness, I have something input, so that must be this one, but on this one, which value to affect, I don't remember, So it's why Shadeit is not dedicated to modify that. I made an interface for you with just the right one, perfect slider. Oh yes, here, look. If I come here and I modify the value, it's broken. Why? Nothing happened. And you have a red message. It means that it's because I deselect, my mesh. In order to the edit shader rocks, you always need to have the connection with one mesh selected from which has the shader you want to edit. So I just need to select one mesh, and without anything, it's linked again. Always need to have a link between the edit and a mesh here. So if you deselect, that don't work, red message, you just select again and it's okay, you can go up. Nice. So the roughness, then the squatches. Let's start with edgeware. Edgeware will add, as its name is, only on the hard edge a little rear effect. As always, be subtle with. If you go too much, that will be a bit more heavy. So yes. And after, here is 3 mask. You have a large one. We'll add, you see, really big scratch, peeling effect. You have a medium one, which is, you see, little, and a fine, which is really only some fine little scratches effect on the surface. So play with that, a bit of edgeware. No, it's too much, maybe these two, and you have a nice scratches effect on your object. depend on the curvature and things like that, occlusion. Nice. Then the dirt. For the dirt, I will just increase, okay, the value here. So I need first to activate the dirt with the dirt intensity, nothing happen, because then I have the spread to play with, and look the effect, okay. So dirt is the dirt that will propagate from the occlude part to the surface, and that will add a dirt layer. On a dark color like this one, it's not really visible, but on other shader, it's more visible and intensity, okay. Then we have the rest, same thing. Opacity control for the other on the bottom, so activate the rest with the opacity. Same thing, you have a spread, quite sensitive, you see. Be careful, it's sensitive, okay. If I start here, you see only it's spread by the curvature, okay, only the hard edge, and if you go, that will propagate on the surface like that. With opacity, you can control the opacity, of course, of this, as I said. Then you have dots that will add only little, dot spot of rust on the surface. Okay, this is a layer. And the soft one, which is, you see, something more subtle and soft on the surface, same thing. So one more time, you have enough to play with opacity and have a great rust effect. Okay, I will go to 0. And the last one, a dust, same thing. You have an opacity. And look, the dust is really like a dust effect, which means it's only from the top to the bottom, and you will not have dust, on area where there is no logical. It's like if you have the dust that was spread from the top, and voilà, like that. And you can control intensity and color of the dust. Okay. So you see really interesting things, and everything is logical, which means the dust will be on top of the rust, etc., and up top of the dirt. Now look, I will save this, and you see, of course, it's the idea of the IPR from the interview of Arnold, is you don't need to finish your render. You see, I play with and I can see everything without heavy render setting or final pixel or thing like that. Okay, I just play with, and it's you immediately have a result. I mean, if you're a bit even without an heavy PC, if you are intelligent, correct setting, as I saw you, render region, you can work really fast with the shaded without waiting for rendering. Okay, so you don't need Redshift or thing like that. With Arnold, it's working perfectly. Yes, now let's go back to global scale to test. Here I'm at 3. Let's test, for example, at 1, and you see that change completely the scale. Here it's more defined, and here we are a more larger scale. You see, it's completely different. And here, for example, if I made a 6, and here you have something. You see here on the dust there is no, it's really large scale, and here is more fine. So it's great to find the right scale, but we will discuss about that after. For now, by default, it's working great on this shader ball. And you see, after when you go to final render, you have a really fine and great result. You see on the dust, air, detail, and everything will be really fine. Well, it's simpler than that. Now, for example, if you have another mesh, okay, I will make the sphere here. Oh, be careful, of course, to always freeze the transform of your mesh, otherwise that will not work as expected. Okay, so I have a sphere now here, nice, and of course, on this sphere here, all the setting I've done are for this guy, and it's saved on this guy, which means if I double click now on another mesh with this one, that will not go back to 0, that will apply with the so there is no rust because of no hard edge, but you know it's the same shader now. Okay, it's always the same shader, and it's why there is iteration. For example, if I want to have a new shader or a variation, I mean, I don't know, for example, this piece here, from, okay, this 3 piece, I want the same shader, but without, I don't know, dust and rust. Okay, so for that, be really careful because it's a bit complicated. I want a new black metal shader. How to duplicate it? Don't do it manually, of course, because that will break the shaded. You right click on a shader and you can create duplication of the shader. It's in 2 steps. The first, you need to create a new black metal, okay? If you only create the black metal 1, you can't create black metal 4 directly. For example, if I click here, you have a message, please create black metal 2 first, okay? If you don't remember, it will tell you, okay, so create black metal 2. Here, nothing happened. You then need to right click again and assign this shader. It's a little, a bit tricky, but you need to do that in 2 times. Create, then assign. Now it will say, okay, the shader black metal 2 is well assigned, and you have nothing that change. Why? Because it don't create a new black metal with a default shader at 0. It duplicate the existing previous black metal shader, which is this one with all the settings we did. Why I do that? Because for example, if I just want a new black metal but without the dust, I want all the same setting, and you will not have to do all the setting each time. Okay, it's a duplication. But now I can come here, edit, and for example, I say, okay, I don't want dust. You see, it's well a new black metal, and I don't want rust. Okay, okay, and boom, it's keep on the other. It's 2 different shader. And be careful, if I select this one, I edit this one. If I select this one, you need to click again on edit, and you will still have access here to, okay. So it's 2 different, you need to select the one you want and edit. So let's continue, for example, here with color metal. I will assign, double click. Waiting for Arnold to open, yes, and edit. Okay, I will not explain everything again. You see, most of the time you will have same setting, but in fact the edit shader will adapt on each material specification. For example, for the color one, everything is the same, but you see here you have a U shift, because I like this way to change the color. Okay, so I can change with the U shift here and for a nice color. And of course you have a color slider to play with and make something more red. You see with variation. I found it's more interesting like that. Okay. Same thing, right click, you can create iteration. What we have? We have metal row. Okay. With always the same thing, and here you see metal row have more control on the roughness because it's really important. You have the roughness, but you also have some maybe here, yes. So you have the roughness effect for your Chrome, but you also have some fingerprints. So it's really subtle, but you can control that. Or less or more scratches on the render. I let you to play with everything. You can also create color on it if you want to have something a bit blue. You see, can be interesting. Yes. Noise, of course. Nice. Let's see, really interesting to play with. So yes, each shader property have its own parameter. Of course, to finish, we have other one, the plastic. Here too, I will select all, made a blue plastic. Same thing here. So yes, here it keep the displacement is because of Arnold. You just need to update full scene sometime to reset correctly the displacement. Okay, and the sphere, yes, is good. Edit, and now the plastic, you know, with each his own parameter. Here. Bump, SSS, etc. Yes, by default SSS is off. Of course, if you activate here, you need to activate some SSS sample here if you want an SSS effect on the plastic. Okay, after you have a clay enter here, I let you play with also, and it's all. Okay, just test, play with. And of course here at the bottom you have a little slider just to play on the scale with the thumbnail if you want to have a better look of the render of the material. And it's all. So play with the shader on this scene and you will better know and understand every control of different shader.